I think there's a midway. There's also an added layer of controversy over the Duchy's residential properties, some of which reportedly fail to meet minimum energy standards, and this is a stark point of contention given the Royals' public stance on social and environmental responsibility. The discovery that a significant portion of the Duchy's rental properties are rated F or G, below the legal threshold, has cast a shadow over William's public commitments to addressing homelessness and environmental sustainability. In response, representatives for the Duchys defend their operations, highlighting their commercial imperative and noting planned improvements in energy efficiency are underway. Yet for many, this response falls short, especially when paired with the claim of pursuing social impact, as renting substandard properties seems directly contradictory to such a mission.
Hello, fellow squaddies. This is Chloe, welcoming you to another episode on Royal Telly. Today, we are diving into the deep end of a scandal that's been conveniently swept under the royal rug. Yes, we're talking about Prince William's Duchy of Cornwall scandal. Now, this isn't your typical royal tea. It's a bitter brew of systemic injustice, privilege, and a shocking disregard for the common folk. In the heart of Dartmoor, a prison stands abandoned. Not due to lack of need, but because of dangerously high radon gas levels. But that's not the worst part. Brace yourselves, because this tale of negligence and greed is far from over. Despite the prison being closed, taxpayers are still shelling out £1.5 million annually to Prince William's estate. That's right, while the prison remains a hazardous relic, the future king is happily collecting rent on it. But that's not all. There are around 500 former inmates contemplating legal action for potential health damages. And what of the local community, you ask? Well, they're being left to grapple with the economic collapse. The villagers who once depended on the prison for their livelihood now feel abandoned by the royal estate. But let's not forget who owns the land. The Duchy of Cornwall, under Prince William's control, is the landlord here. The locals are paying for repairs while William collects rent without batting an eye. The future king shows zero accountability as he continues to exploit vulnerable communities, maintaining outdated feudal systems and protecting royal financial interests at the expense of the people. So, as you can see, this is no small matter we are dealing with. It's a scandal of epic proportions, a stark reminder of the systemic inequalities that persist, and a call to action for all of us. The story we're about to unpack is one of unchecked privilege and unaccountability. It's a tale as old as time, hidden in plain sight, but it's high time we bring it out into the light. Our focus is the Duchy of Cornwall, a land of breathtaking beauty, but unfortunately that's not all it is. It's also the backdrop of a scandal that's been brewing for quite some time. The central figure in this scandal? None other than Prince William, the man who stands to inherit this vast estate. Now, picture this. There's an abandoned prison in Dartmoor, closed due to dangerously high radon gas levels. But what's shocking is that despite its uninhabitable state, rent is still being collected on it. And who is the beneficiary of this rent? That's right, it's Prince William. So while this prison sits empty and decaying, the future king is profiting from it. But it doesn't stop there. The local community is reeling from the economic fallout of this situation. With the prison closed, many jobs were lost. The local economy, once thriving, is now on the brink of collapse. The villagers who once felt supported by the royal estate now feel abandoned and forgotten. What's more, there's a glaring lack of accountability from Prince William. While he reaps the benefits of the Duchy of Cornwall, he turns a blind eye to the suffering of the local community. This isn't just about an abandoned prison, it's about a systemic failure to uphold responsibility. In the grand scheme of things, this is more than just a scandal. It's a glaring example of systemic injustice, of a system that allows those at the top to benefit at the expense of those at the bottom. It's a reminder of the urgent need for change in the way our society operates. The facts speak for themselves, and they're not painting a pretty picture. But stay with us because we're just getting started. Up next, we're going to break down the privilege that allows this kind of systemic injustice to persist. Let's expose the privilege that is being upheld here. The Duchy of Cornwall, the estate that's been in Prince William's family for generations, owns the land where this abandoned prison sits. This royal estate, under the leadership of Prince William, is exploiting its privilege, exploiting the local communities, and exploiting the systemic inequalities that have long been ingrained in this system. Now here's where the privilege turns into a glaring injustice. While the prison is closed and the local community is left to grapple with the economic fallout, Prince William's estate still collects rent. Yes, you heard it right. The future king is raking in rent from a building that's not only abandoned, but is also a potential health hazard. And who's footing the bill for this? The local community, the very people who are suffering the most. They're the ones paying for the repairs on a prison that's no longer in use, all while William's estate sits back and collects the rent. But the injustice doesn't stop there. There's a complete lack of accountability. In any other situation, the landlord would be held responsible for maintaining their property and ensuring it's safe for use. But when the landlord is the future king, it seems the rules don't apply. There's zero accountability from William or his estate. It's as if his royal status gives him a free pass to ignore the very real issues that his estate is causing. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. This is just one example of the systemic inequalities that are upheld by outdated feudal systems. It's a system that allows the privileged few to maintain their wealth and power at the expense of the many. It's a system that needs to be challenged and changed. The privilege is clear, and it's time for change. It's time to stand up against these injustices, to question the privilege, and to demand accountability. Because if we don't, who will? We, the Sussex Squad, take a firm stance on this issue. We stand at the crossroads of change and complacency, and we choose change. We choose to shed light on the shadows of systemic injustice, to question the status quo, and to fight for a fairer world. This is not just about a duchy, a prince, or a closed prison. This is about the very fabric of our society. It's about the vulnerable communities that are exploited for profit, the outdated feudal systems that continue to divide us, and the royal financial interests that are protected at the expense of the people. We believe in the power of love and light, and we know that they always win in the end. But love and light are not passive. They are active forces that push us to speak out, to act, and to challenge the systems that perpetuate inequality. We are not just observers in this narrative. We are active participants, and we have a role to play. We can share this story, spread awareness, and challenge these systemic inequalities. We can use our voices, our platforms, and our collective power to demand change. So let's take action. Share this video. Spread the word. Ask the tough questions. Challenge the system. And most importantly, stand for justice. Stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. Stand for the villagers of Dartmoor, for the former inmates of the closed prison, for all those who are suffering under the weight of systemic injustice. Let's make sure that our voices are heard, that our actions count, and that our stance is clear. We are the Sussex Squad, and we will not be silenced. We will not be sidelined. We will not be ignored. We are here, and we are making a difference. Remember, change starts with us. It starts with our actions, our words, and our choices. It starts with standing up and speaking out. It starts with love and light. Together, we can make a difference. Spread the word, challenge the system, and stand for justice. Before we wrap up, here's a bonus truth moment for you. The reality of this scandal goes beyond the walls of the abandoned prison in Dartmoor. It's a reflection of a systemic issue that stretches far and wide, affecting real people, real lives every day. While the Duke of Cornwall, Prince William, basks in the luxury of his vacations, the local community of Dartmoor is grappling with the economic collapse. Imagine this, a village once vibrant, now struggling to survive, its people abandoned by the very estate that should be their guardian. And for what? So that the future king can continue to collect rent on a dangerous, abandoned prison. This, my fellow squaddies, is the harsh reality that many are living in. This is not a one-off incident, it's a pattern. A pattern of exploiting vulnerable communities, maintaining outdated feudal systems, and protecting royal financial interests, all at the expense of the people. It's an unjust system that needs to be challenged, and it needs to be challenged now. Let this be a reminder to us all about the importance of raising awareness about the need for systemic change. We, the Sussex Squad, are not just bystanders. We are the catalysts for change. We stand up for justice, we question, we challenge, and we fight for what is right. This is why we need to keep the conversation going. Share this video, spread the word, challenge the systemic inequalities. The power lies with us, and together we can bring about change. So let's continue to stand for justice. Let's continue to shine the light on these issues, and let's continue to fight for a better, fairer world. Thank you for joining us today, fellow Squaddies. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Royal Telly. Together, we can bring about change.